On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
Then you know the hidden rule, which is you get all of the blame and none of the credit. So if you want to be a leader and say you're a real leader, then you're gonna say it's my fault that that woman's not moving the way I need her to move. So as a teacher, my love, Kate, tell me, as a teacher, when a student can't learn, you as a teacher, you have to find out what's the best way to communicate with him.
Can you imagine if I just said, "Well, they not trying to learn, so whatever." That would never be.
That's Creep would do that if he was a teacher. You're not learning, get out my platform. For me and you, Kay, we would say, you know what? Maybe that kid is not a tactile learner. Maybe it's not an auditory learner. Maybe it's not a visual learner. Maybe it's a different type of learner. So maybe we have to approach that student a different way. We're not taking the time to approach women that way.
We gotta move on. If you're just tuning in, welcome to Lapeef, Let's Talk.
K, I love you.
Man, hold on. Make sure you guys get them likes up. Also, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Yeah, you always know I got that bonus question to throw in. I got a couple of them tonight. So bonus.
You better get your wife in here because I got K. Get your wife in here. You're gonna need all the help.
Is this WWE? Like what's going
on? You got K, I got me.
Exactly, dictator.
You're right. And I'm a rule with an iron fist.
All right, so here it is. Being overly independent is a defense mechanism from constantly being let down. Being overly independent is a defense mechanism for constantly being let down. That was by Mark Lee Jr. Let's talk about that real quick. What do you guys thought? Start with you, Rilla.
Yo, man. Hey, thank you for coming to me first, man. I appreciate it. I'm going to tell when all that. Hey! I'm so glad to see you back, man. Where are the roaches?
You know where they are. They're in their little cages. They're in their cages. They're healthy. They're happy.
And Courtney's looking glorious. Salute. So listen, man. Listen.
Who got that background noise?
Chi-Town.
I'm in Roseland. I'm in the fly. You know what it is.
Hey, you sound like an echo. Sound like you're in the.
How it sound now?
Better now.
Yeah, that's because them fire engine and police cars is going by, man. Dang, now I forgot the question.
Being overly independent is a defense mechanism. Constantly being let down.
Okay. Here's the crazy thing. This is one of the things that me and my boo thing talked about off rip. Again, you know, me and my girl, we've known each other since high school, but we weren't romantically involved in high school or anything like that. We both have lived our lives. She's lived her life, and she has been taught to be independent, right? And with me coming into her life, and you know, even as I have grown into manhood, so to speak, right? It's a difference for her to understand how to relinquish some of her independence and lean into interdependence. And I think that's, you know, I think what King kind of leans into, which I agree with, which I'm more aligned with, is interdependence. And I think what Anton says most times, he kind of favors interdependence. I know you're going to say, like, I'm trying to bring peace. I'm not. I am trying to bring balance. I'll say that. I'm not trying to bring peace. I do bring balance because I see it from both sides. And what I do understand it to be is I respect what my woman brings into the situation in terms of, you know, she was independent before me. She could hold her own shit down. You know, she's a successful woman, very successful woman. You know what I'm saying? And don't need me for nothing, right? In terms of surviving or being able to make a living, you know, to the end of her days or whatever, that's what she chooses to do or whatever. But when you talk about pair bonding, fam, and when you talk about living in purpose and what we were created to do and what we're supposed to be doing, and this is what we're in right now, then yeah, when I come in and I establish structure and order and I introduce her to things, there are things I've been able to introduce her to that she ain't never known, man. She ain't never known and she ain't never experienced, and that's a beautiful thing. Real talk.
Anybody else want to chime in on being overly independent as a defense mechanism from constantly being let down?
Yeah, that's what the Black woman is going through now in our community. The increase of independence is because of the lack of dependability with the Black men, because there's not a lot of Black men that's stepping up, and there's not a lot of Black men that's well equipped or resourceful to be there for our women. That's why it's an issue, right? And when the ones that are resourceful and that have the education, that have the know-how, they're arguing amongst each other. That's what me and Anton is doing, right? Instead of using this time to educate other people how to create more male leaders, so they don't have so women don't have to be so independent in our community. There's a real problem with that. Is it a good thing? I don't think it's a good thing. I don't think a woman should be so independent that she doesn't allow a man to be a man. I don't think that's cool. I want to be a man, right? So initially, it does turn me off when a woman is too independent. But I know the traumas that Black women have for lack of for men not letting them down. But I still think it's not right. I still think that they should really try to give men a chance. But I understand why they move like that. I totally understand why they move.
I'm sorry, King. I'm bugging because you really sound. I ain't gonna trip on you, fam. But you really sound like me when I first came on the platform. And one of the things that I've said in the last couple of weeks is like, there's a lot of things that I've learned just being on the platform, just doing my deep dives. Now this is real spill, okay? And
JR was like, I thought he played some. Never mind. I was here.
No. Well, I got a whole bunch of. I'm in the hood, so I got a whole bunch of going on out here. But when you said that, King, I'm listening to you, and I'm like, damn, that sounded like me when I first came on the platform, and everybody was looking at me sideways to Sunday, like, what? Like, you don't see what's going on outside your door? So my question becomes, because I believe. And I think you would concede that everything rises and falls on leadership and that men are responsible for leadership. But do you think that everything that, as we see it right now, is incumbent on the men and that there's no accountability on the part of the women?
No. First of all, let me say something. If you're really a true leader, then you know the hidden rule, which is you get all the blame and none of the credit. So if you want to be a leader and say you're a real leader, then you're gonna say it's my fault that woman's not moving the way I need her to move. So as a teacher, my love, Kate, tell me, as a teacher, when a student can't learn, you as a teacher, you have to find out what's the best way to communicate with him.
Can you imagine if I just said, well, they not trying to learn, so whatever. That would never be.
That's Creep would do that if he was a teacher. You're not learning, get on my platform. For me and you, Kay, we would say, you know what? Maybe that kid is not a tactile learner. Maybe it's not an auditory learner. Maybe it's not a visual learner. Maybe it's a different type of learner. So maybe we have to approach that student a different way. We're not taking the time to approach women that way.